Hello and welcome or welcome back if you're new to this channel. My name is Jen. I'm doing this video as a bit of an update to a video that I had done a few weeks ago. I will link that video down below in the description in case you missed that. But just quick summary, it was a video on, eBay scammers. I had been scammed on eBay. I just produced that video kind of off the cuff in my frustration and shared the details of what I had gone through with that. And the support and the comments and the views of that have been crazy. So I did just want to give an update on that, of where that case stands, some of the steps that I have taken, and kind of just share some of the things that I have learned through that. In the comments, I learned like this is so common, which is frustrating. Like, eBay, if you're watching, you have a serious problem. It is no longer like a safe platform for sellers. I really feel like, I'm not like a hardcore gambler or anything, but I feel like selling on eBay has become such a gamble. Some of the comments were, oh, that's just the price of doing business. You have to assume people are going to steal from you. Or it's such a small percentage, keep selling. But I've just completely lost that warm, fuzzy feeling that I used to have with eBay, that feeling like it was a secure place to sell my items. It really is like a coin toss. If you come across somebody that buys your item that is not an honest person, you lose, and eBay's like, sorry, nothing we can do about it. Yeah, no. And actually, as I was thinking about it, and correct me if I'm wrong, so yes, I sell my item, I get the money for it. eBay takes what, like 12% of that, and that can be a hefty chunk. Like, eBay gets a nice chunk of change when we sell something. So when that is disputed by a scammer and I lose and I have to pay 100% of that back, eBay still got their 12% of that cut. So I lost out on that, plus was charged a $20 dispute fee. Yeah, like, so eBay wins no matter what. Like, they don't care. So that's frustrating. But yeah, again, in those comments, just so many different scenarios of the same thing, where basically the person that buys it claims that you sent them something completely different or something that doesn't work, and they send you back, like, they'll return the item but return something either completely different, they'll return their broken item and keep the good one that you sent them, or just things like that. We're just, oh, so wrong, and we just feel like we're stuck and can't do anything. So again, that was the gist of that first video. And there was a lot of good comments, such as like, do this, or saying like, well, obviously the weight of what you sent is going to differ from what they sent back, which was true. But as someone else had commented on there too, with eBay, when you are able to submit your proof, you're only allowed to submit one picture. So that's not really helpful. So really, even though like I had all this proof, there wasn't, like, eBay just didn't care. They're just like, sorry, there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, that's not okay. So, at that point, it's just kind of like throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing what sticks. And I did try out all these different avenues. So one of them was, I did file a complaint with the US Postal Service, and filed a fraud complaint. So I went through all the steps online and filled out all that. And basically, once I submitted that, there's like the fine print of saying, thank you for your submission. I don't remember it word for word, but basically it was telling me like, we're really not going to do anything about this. We just collect this for information, so we're aware of kind of what's happening. And I'm like, okay, thanks. So that was submitted, but I don't expect anything to come out of it. The second thing I did, and I really didn't know if this would go anywhere, because I didn't know if the police would care. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, I have family that has been in law enforcement, so I know the reality of some of the bigger cases that might be on their desk at the time. And also in one of my previous jobs that I had, part of my responsibilities and duties were to call police stations or police departments and courthouses all across the country to obtain records. And so I definitely already knew that if you call up a police department, you can get anything ranging from there could be a full records department that has several full-time people working in it to if there's no one in the office, you're going to be connected to their like 911 dispatcher and they'll take your information. And then the one officer that happens to be on duty will call you back while like out in the middle of the field somewhere. You know, so it really varies. So because I didn't know you know, what kind of police department was in, you know, this area where my scammer lived, I decided, you know, let's just send a letter. And again, I didn't know if anything would happen with the letter, but I at least figured if it's sent by letter, at least then somebody has a chance to look at it and maybe it'll make it to the desk of someone that can do something about it or whatnot. But I'm sure you could call as well. So what I did is looked up the police department for where my scammer resided. Now, jurisdiction is another thing. So again, from doing my records from before in my prior job, I do know, you know, depending on where the person lives, sometimes it's the county sheriff that has jurisdiction over this area and the city police department has jurisdiction over this area. So I wrote 2 duplicate letters and sent one to the county sheriff and one to the police department. Not only did one of those respond to me, but both of them did, and both of them took me very seriously, and I was just so excited by that. You know, when I wrapped up my last video, I was really just feeling, and I think a lot of us sellers, if we get scammed, we really just feel like so frustrated and stuck and have no power. So, you know, this part was really exciting. So the county sheriff got back to me. I'm not going to share the location just because this is now an ongoing investigation. But the county sheriff wrote a letter back to me, which was so nice. You know, I included in my letter, you know, my email address and phone number. They could have just sent a quick, you know, email or called. But they sent me a letter and it says, "Thank you for reaching out to us in an attempt to receive aid for what you were going through. However, when looking at the address you provided, they let me know the jurisdiction was for the city police department and not the county sheriff. That means you will need to contact them. We're returning your original letter to you. We do apologize that you're going through this and hope you are able to get the issue resolved. We wish you the best of luck in resolving this issue and apologize that we cannot do anything further for you." But still, they took the time to type a letter and send that back to me, along with, you know, the letter that I had sent to them. So I'm going to go ahead and read the letter that I had sent, again, both to the county sheriff and the police department. I said, I'm in Pennsylvania. I was just scammed by someone at this address and I provided the address. It was through eBay, so I doubt that this will rise to much importance on anyone's list. I reached out to eBay and then they are unable to do anything about it. I am out $175. And people have been scammed for so much more. A couple months ago, like I sold like an $800 item on eBay and now I'm just like cringing. I'm like, oh my gosh, if that would have gone south, like, ugh. After they paid for the item and I sent it to them, they demanded a refund and sent back a bogus non-value item to me as the returned item. They then claimed that they returned the high-value item and showed the tracking number as proof, and the refund was awarded back to them. Actually, they claimed that the bogus non-value item was what I had sent to them. Oh my gosh. I said, if the police are willing to write up a report, I am more than happy to provide all of the evidence. And I provided them what my full-time job is, which isn't important to this video, but it does just kind of show like some credibility. I said, so I'm not just trying to stir up immature drama. I said, I have family and law enforcement. I said, I'm just trying to give my request some credibility. I feel that my hands are tied and I don't have any recourse in this situation. So that was the letter I had sent. So the county sheriff got back to me saying, the police department had jurisdiction. Now again, I had mailed those 2 duplicate letters the same day, so actually the police department had already gotten back to me. So, you know how our iPhones ring with like random numbers all the time, and of course like I never answer it. But so it rang the one day, and it was from the state of where I had, you know, sent this letter to the police department. So I answer, I'm like, hello, this is Jen. And they're like, hi, my name is Detective so-and-so from this police department. I'm like, really? And he was so nice and took it very seriously. So he took my, you know, the initial information, and he explained to me, he's like, well, he's like, since you reside, you know, here in Pennsylvania, and he's in a completely different state, he's like, what I need you to do is, he's like, I need you to file an initial report with the police department where you reside. I'm assuming because, you know, the theft took place here, maybe. I don't know how that works with online stuff. But he said, I need you to file that initial report and then get back to me. He's like, they'll give you a police report, you know, number or incident number, whatnot. And he's like, I will begin the legwork on this. And then he's like, I need you to email, you know, all the documentation and all the proof and everything like that you have. Not like eBay, you may submit 1 picture showing proof. Oh, so I did. So I went down to our local police department, which I've never been inside of. I was kind of like intimidated to go down there. So I go down, and inside there is, like, right inside the door, you can't really go anywhere, like all the doors are locked, but right inside like the little lobby thing there's like there's a dispatcher behind, you know, the glass window and stuff. She's got all her screens and stuff. And anyway, so I go in and I asked her if I was able to, you know, meet with a police officer to report a theft. So she takes down my initial information, and she gets on her scanner and over the radio requests for one of the officers out, you know, in town to come back so that they can meet with me. I guess, you know, there wasn't anybody like there at that moment. So yeah, so I waited about 15 minutes, and I started to feel bad, like, again, like I'm feeling like, oh, are they gonna think like I'm wasting their time? But, you know, an officer came back, and he was so nice, and again, just took me very seriously. And, you know, so we went back through, you know, the locked door into one of the rooms. And, you know, I watch a lot of those crime shows. So like if you watch the first 48, it always shows the video when they're interrogating someone, and they're in just like this plain room, and there's just a desk with chairs, and that's it. So I'm sitting in this room that looks like just like that. You know, there's a desk in there, but no computer, no nothing on it. So the officer has a seat there at the desk, and I sit in the other chair, and he just has his notepad and pen and, you know, taking notes. And I look up, and you know, you can see the video camera up in the corner there. Anyway, again, the officer, very nice, took down all the information, and I did tell him, like, I've already been in contact with this detective from this city over in this state, but I, you know, need to start the report off here. And so yeah, so he took down the report. So when I walked out of there, I had his business card with the date and time and that police report number on that I could provide to the detective. And so later that evening, that officer, you know, typed up his report and actually, you know, contacted the other detective to, you know, pass off all of the information in the report and things like that. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So then the detective, you know, got back to me saying, you know, he received that report. And in the meantime, I was able to email him all of my documentation, all of my pictures, all of everything, all of the proof. And it feels amazing to actually have somebody that cares, somebody in authority that can actually do something about this, willing to look at all the details that you have and not just be like, sorry, there's nothing we can do. Oh, and fun fact, So when this first happened, obviously I'm just so upset and so frustrated. So you start like Googling the person's name and trying to find out, like, you know, things about them. I mean, don't go too far down that rabbit hole, but so this information didn't come up like easily in a Google search, but under like a few layers, I was able to find a public record court document on this person for a prior forgery and theft charge. And in this court document, I mean, it very clearly states, you know, this person lied to the police in interviews and this and that. So as I'm sending my proof to this detective, I, you know, had printed out this court document and highlighting different things where like, this person will lie to the police. This person, like this is who you're dealing with. Anyway, so just yesterday, this detective called me just to give me a heads up, and he's like, I'm going to have to subpoena both of your eBay account records, so both the scammer and my own. He's like, I just didn't want you to panic if you receive a letter saying like, hey, your account is being, you know, subpoenaed or whatnot. And I kind of laughed. I'm like, you know, I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, have at it. I've had my eBay account for like 20 years now, and buyer, seller, my reviews are fine. I'm not worried about that in the least. You know, this other person, their account was pretty new, like 9 months. And, you know, didn't have any like negative feedback. But here's the thing, by the time this person like opened up a dispute against me, like so much time had already passed. I wasn't able to leave any feedback. Like it wasn't even showing up on my like dashboard anymore. I'm like, yeah, so there's that. I can't even leave like negative feedback on this person. So anyway, that is where things stand as we speak. I'm hoping there will be a part 3 to this video, but the detective did let me know. He's like, you know, with things as backed up as they are, sometimes these subpoenas can take several weeks, several months, and that's okay. I mean, at the point I was when I posted my last video of just being like, you know, what can we do, to hey, now they're actually investigating this and going after charges against this person, you know, for fraud and theft. I'm like, yeah. So I just wanted to make this video as an update and encouragement. You know, if this happens to you, take that extra step, file charges, you know, contact the police department, both where you live and where the scammer resides, you know, whatever city they're in, call up that police department and say, hey, I'd like to file a report. Yeah, so I've been pleasantly surprised and very pleased at how serious the police have taken it. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Really, it's just the principle of the matter of holding people accountable, because it seems so common. And I'm so hesitant to use eBay now, which is very sad. For all those years, it felt like a very safe place to buy and sell. I think now as a seller, I'm just very hesitant to list anything. Yeah, don't trust it. But anyway, so that is my update on that. And again, thank you for joining me for this, and I hope to have a part 3 with some great news sometime in the future. So stay tuned for that. All right, bye.